Hi. I've got a new office today. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a squirrel fight. So, my situation today is I found a pretty park with a table, and then when you go that way through like the trees and the football field, like that's my gym that I'm at in about 30 minutes. So, we're gonna do this live stream. We're on day 2. And then I thought I would find a closer spot than I did last time, in case I needed to talk for longer than 10 minutes. But, sorry, I moved it so you could see the scene. Okay, it's slanty. Kind of slanty. Okay, I'll stop touching it. So, this morning, our audio was over who you're spending your life with. So again, like day 1, I was hoping that you would be able to kind of go through the morning audio and get some ideas on where we're going with all of this, and just so that maybe you could identify if there's anybody in your life that maybe is, I want to say holding you back, but probably unknowingly holding you back. So my goal of this morning wasn't to try to get you to kick people out of your life, but just to kind of make you aware of who you actually have surrounding you, because who you actually have surrounding you is going to either help you or keep you in the same place, because you probably won't be doing too much differently than the people that are like immediately around you. So my goal is that you'll be able to change your environment just a little bit. So I wanted to go through discussing like how to set up your inner circle. And I say inner circle just because it's like a kind of fun word, I think. But basically, I would like you to actually try to build on purpose like a support system for yourself. So one thing that I realized the last 2 to 3 years is that it wasn't enough for me to just be doing things on my own, but I actually needed to add in people in my life, because my friends, I don't want to say that I grew apart from my friends necessarily, but I did want to do different things than what my friends were doing. And that meant changing my schedule around, and then also maybe not seeing them as much because I needed to do these other things. So there was some dynamics there, a little bit that sucked at first. But now everything is pretty much evened out. And I would say there's only 1 or 2 people where we just don't talk anymore, just because it's just not good to do so, or it just wasn't working out to do so. So I wanted to share with you, and I put in the PDF that I put into the group over our day 2. I don't have a certain number of like people that I think should be in your inner circle, but just I think the most important thing is that you see them on like a weekly, a daily or weekly or like pretty often basis, like within your month, so that that you don't feel alone. So essentially, my greatest healing began when I actually started sharing more with people that had been there before, or people that had come through similar things, or people that had been trained in kind of like how to deal with life change. So right now, like I call them caring individuals and communities. So I would like you, if you don't already, consciously start maybe seeking out relationships or communities if you find yourself kind of like by yourself a lot. So my caring individuals are Barbara Bayer, and she's my psychotherapist, I think officially it is called, and I see her like every 2 weeks. So she's who I see just to kind of help me stay. I don't like to live in fear, and I think just with what has happened with in my past, and just with the way the world is and daily stressors and everything I'm trying to do, I will start to walk around feeling like the world is threatening. So Barbara specifically helps me to kind of navigate like what's actually going on in my day and whether or not situations are threatening or whether or not relationships are toxic or not toxic when it gets to really tricky stuff. So I just want to give you a general awareness, but then also draw you back to that you might want some professional like assistance, and I do have that. So part of my inner circle is Barbara Bayer, and then Matt Terry is my Olympic lifting coach, and then I have known him for over 10 years now. So I don't really have a solid, regular male figure in my life as far as someone to like advise. So Matt has carried that energy for me, especially the last 2 years. And so I would say between Barbara and Matt, they kind of serve as makeshift kind of parent figures. Okay, so I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that if you have a gap there with parents, or you lack leadership in that area, that you can get people together to kind of hold that place for you. And those two people hold that place for me. I put Tim Clark on this list, and that's my boyfriend, because he's probably the closest person to me these days, and we've been together for 3 years. And the reason I wanted to put him on this list is that he has loving and caring energy, and he does go out of his way to see me. So I think in relationships in the past, maybe when I withdrew with my own pain, I didn't have a partner that would notice or pursue in the way that he does. So I definitely put him on my inner circle, like who I count. And not everyone can feel like their partner is part of the inner circle, depending on what's going on, especially when you're trying to make a bunch of different changes at once. It's normal for there to be some time where maybe you and your partner don't see eye to eye on some of the changes you're making in the relationship, especially if they're like scared. So that's why he is definitely on the list. And then I just put generic, just loving friends. So I have a very big handful of girlfriends who have seen me in different stages of life, and that we can grab lunch or coffee and things like that with. I don't so much anymore see people like every single week all the time, just with everything I'm trying to do, but there is definitely a good handful of lady friends that just love me no matter what, and have been with me at my worst, and then are still here with me now. So I do have, I would say in my life, the number of people that I feel like I could immediately go to if something was wrong, I would say there's probably at least 10, maybe, and then that would include like Barbara and Matt Terry. I feel like there's a good 10 people that I could reach out to. And then the next thing I wanted to draw your attention to also is not just like those one-on-one conversations, but communities. So what is different now with me than in years past is that I've built over the last 8 to 10 years, and especially in the last 3 to 4 years, and in the last 2 years, some regular visits to places where I see groups of people, and then I feel like I fit in as like part of the tribe at those different places. So for me, I have some people just have one place, and that's totally fine, but I do good when I have a few different places where I can kind of feel at home. So Jacob's Well is my church, and I've been there since 2009, early 2009, after my first divorce and after my second divorce. So I've been there through the whole time. So they have held a major place for me. And then I've also put the Soul Grave Regency. That's actually where I am for my full-time job as a fitness center director, and then I set up the workout programs for the residents there. And so it is a condominium, and so it's like a neighborhood. And so now I feel like every day that I go into work, somewhat I'm part of a community. And there's definitely people that I see every single day, and that know me in that way and would consider me just a major part of their day. So that has been very, very nice over the last 4 years. And then I put Body Solutions. That's where I train out of. And so I've been there for 3 years, and so I have my coach there, and then the other owners there, and another group of trainers there. So I have that little clan where I feel like I'm part of that group, especially for my career and everything that I'm trying to do. They're trying to do a lot of the same stuff. And so then the last thing I put was Woodside. That's the gym that I have a membership at. So I'm always pushing people to get a gym membership if they don't already have one. If they're feeling lonely, sometimes that's the first thing that you can do that's somewhat easy and somewhat affordable, depending on where you go. But then that way you can be with people that are making an effort to be healthy. And then there's all different kind of classes that you can take. So I've been a member now at Woodside for 4 years, and so most of the staff know me or get to know me because I'm working there all the time, and I'm there almost every day. And then a lot of the members know me also. So when I walk into the gym, I definitely feel like I have people to touch base with. So in conclusion, with those kind of thoughts on how you might be able to build your community, I wrote down in our PDF here that I found that the key to freeing yourself of toxic relationships is to form new connections with people who share your same values. So we've got some sirens. So rather than, I'm going to let them pass. So rather than really focusing on that you have toxic people in your life and trying to figure out, I didn't realize there was a fire station right there. So instead of trying to figure out how to get the toxic people out of your life, I don't even really want you to focus on that so much as making those new connections with new people, because that's just going to naturally give you some distance. And then you might feel that, some people can stay in your life, but maybe you just can't see them as much, or maybe there just needs to be some boundaries built. So that's kind of where this thing gets a little bit tricky and a little bit complicated. But that's where also, like in the group here, I wanted to be able to just give you an opportunity to ask questions like that, or just see, you can even, give details about what might be going on. Because sometimes once you just get 1 or 2 new people, or a new group or a new community that you're a part of, the rest of the things, you start to feel that connection, and you don't feel so isolated, even if you do still have people that technically, when we did the exercises this morning, would be considered toxic according to the definitions. And so the warning I have for you, though, again, is to be clear. Once you realize that maybe people are toxic and you start battling with them a little bit, I want to warn you not to just totally pull away from everyone without getting that extra support. I would set the support up first, just so that you have somewhere to put your time and somewhere to go, physically go. If you spend a lot of time with somebody that's really not good for you, then you could already have something set up so that you felt supported. So it's good to be able to make it on your own, and we all need a strong self-reliance, but isolation is just not ideal for restoration. So connection and community with the tribe has healed me in ways that I couldn't have healed by myself. And so especially with Barbara and Matt Terry and Tim and my friends, it's good to have watchful eyes on you, watchful, loving eyes, and a connection to people that can call you back into the light. So when you go into some darkness, it's good to have those connections already set so that when they see or feel you pull away into some sadness or darkness, then they can be there. So I want you to have those people still. So the journaling exercise for us today is, do you have a tribe? Do you have a tribe of people you feel in community with on a daily or weekly basis? And if not, what ideas, after all of this, what ideas do you have, can you think of to pursue community and connection? Okay? And so I was happy to get questionnaires back from each person in the group. So the social support questionnaires, there's a fly and it's harassing me. And so I thought what might be good is if I just touched base with you guys individually, especially since we're already at 17 minutes here with the other. So thank you for turning your stuff in, and then I'm going to be looking over those tonight, and then I'm going to shoot you a message, and then you can just let me know if you have any questions or comments. Okay? Well, thanks for joining me. Bye.